Chapter 8. A Holiday. In August, Andrea gave up working for Zsolt. We spent my summer holiday happily painting a small room in our flat, so that it was ready for the baby. And on the 16th of September, our daughter was born. We gave her the name Coti. After that, things changed even more, as we got used to all the differences a new baby makes to her parents' lives. It was hard work, but we were very happy. And I was so busy that for a while I forgot about what had happened in Velika Utsa. We decided to go to England at Christmas. We wanted my parents and family to meet Coti, and this was a good chance. We soon learned how difficult it is to go on holiday with a small baby. You need to take so many things. It took us a very long time to get ready. We flew from Budapest to London Heathrow on the 22nd of December. My parents met us and drove us to their house in a village near Swindon, about an hour from the airport. Everyone was very happy. It was only the third time that Andrea had visited my parents' place, and only her second English Christmas. And this time, we had a new baby in the family with us. Of course, Coti was the centre of everyone's attention. The next day, my mother said she would look after Coti, so that Andrea and I could go into Swindon to do some Christmas shopping. The town was very colourful, with lights and Christmas trees everywhere. And it was very busy, with all the shops full of people buying Christmas presents. We enjoyed ourselves, and got some more presents to add to the special Hungarian Christmas things we had brought with us. That evening, my father was out at his office Christmas dinner, and Andrea was tired after our day in town, so I decided to go down to the village pub and see if any of my old friends were there. I saw one or two neighbours, and talked to them for a while, but none of my good friends were there. I was just going to leave when in walked Paul Harris. Paul had been one of my closest friends at school, but he hadn't been in the village the last few times I'd visited my parents. He was a journalist, and had lived in many different places since we'd left school. "Paul!" I called, as he walked into the bar. "John!" he said. "How good to see you!" "Good to see you too," I replied. "I was just leaving. None of our old friends are here." "No," he said sadly. "Most of them have left, gone to other places for work or wives." "What would you like to drink?" I asked. "I'll have a pint of bitter, please, John," he replied. We took our beer to a quiet corner of the pub, and started to tell each other our news. "Just back to have Christmas with the family," he explained. "On your own?" I asked, asking myself what had happened to his wife, Liz. "I'm afraid so," he said, looking down at his beer. "Liz left me last summer." "I'm sorry, Paul," I replied. "I had no idea." "Don't worry," he said. "The worst part is over. So, tell me about you. My mother told me there's a baby now." And so I told him all about Coti and Andrea and life in Budapest. And after a couple more beers, I told him about meeting myself. Paul was one of my oldest and best friends, and I knew he would take the story seriously. "That's very interesting, John," he said when I'd finished. He didn't laugh or tell me I was stupid. He seemed to be thinking about something. "There was a story about the same thing, doppelgangers and people meeting themselves, in one of the magazines I write for." "Did you read it?" I asked, hoping he might have some more information. "Only the first part," he said. "But I remember it said that this happens to quite a lot of people everywhere." "Well, that's good news," I replied. "I thought I was going crazy or something." "No, John, you're not," he said, smiling. "But you should be careful. I remember that it also said that bad things had happened to many people after seeing a doppelganger." "Yes, I read that too," I said. "In a book in Budapest. But anyway, it's good to know I'm not alone." "Yes, that may help you to feel happier," he said seriously. "But I remember one story from the magazine where the doppelganger was trying to tell a woman not to drive her son to school one day. She didn't understand, and that same day they had a car accident, and her son was killed." "Oh, really?" I said, surprised. "So perhaps you should be careful," said Paul. "I will, don't worry," I answered. In one way, I felt much happier, knowing that what had happened to me was not so unusual. But I started trying to understand what kind of message my doppelganger was trying to bring me. Thinking about it made me feel uncomfortable, so I tried to forget it and enjoy Christmas. But it wasn't very easy. The rest of the Christmas holiday in England passed quickly. We ate lots of nice food, played family games, visited friends and family in other places, and really enjoyed ourselves. Soon it was time to go back to Hungary. We flew back on the 29th of December, returning to spend New Year with Andrea's family in the snowy Hungarian countryside. Perhaps it was because we couldn't go out much and there wasn't much to do except sit around the house, but I started thinking about my doppelganger story more and more. I was trying to decide what the meeting with myself had meant. Andrea said that I wasn't joining in with family things much. But when I told her why, she got angry with me, and we argued. "I thought you'd forgotten about that stupid story," she said. "I've tried to, Andrea," I answered, "but it keeps coming back to me." "Well, it had better go away from you very quickly," she answered. "I want a man who looks after his family, talks to his wife, and plays with his daughter. I don't want someone who sits around the house all day looking into space." And she walked out of the room. I understood that Andrea was tired and wanted me to pay more attention to my family, and I tried to be better. But then 2 days later, we went home. I went back to work, as usual, on Monday the 5th of January.